get the show on the road.
Hello, this is Paul from Now Gamer.
And this is John from GamesTM.
And this is a review of Uncharted 4, which John has been playing. So, it's been talked up as kind of the conclusion, the big final ending of the franchise. Does it sort of live up to the expectation that it's had?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think that sense that this could be the end hangs over the game and gives it a real drive all the way through. There's definitely a sense playing it that there's a weight to everything you're doing. Everything feels really important and potentially like the last thing you'll ever get to do. There's that kind of sense of almost saying goodbye to a game one way or another. And we're not going to give anything away in terms of how the game plays out. But certainly, even in the early stages, the game plays that up of this could be the end. Get ready.
Some of the things we've been talking about is in the lead up to the game is potential new mechanics in terms of the rope swing that you've got and so forth. Has it changed a lot in terms of the way it plays?
It's changed a little bit. It still feels like classic Uncharted all the way through. But what the grappling hook does for you is it creates more verticality in the levels, and that means that exploring is much more fluid. And it also means that encounters with enemies are much more interesting because you've got these more vertical stages that they play out in. So you're needing to swing around and using stealth, hiding in the long grass and picking off enemies one at a time. So that almost turns the battles into these little mini puzzles of their own. So everything kind of just feeds back into the classic Uncharted gameplay and just tweaks it, enhances it, and adds a little bit more of that kind of the more thrilling elements that would normally be in set pieces. Now you get to play them out because you're the one controlling that swing, you're the one controlling that crazy jump you're going to pull off.
Okay.
It's all in your hands.
Does it still have the sort of big set pieces that Uncharted's famed for, though?
Yeah, absolutely. Not quite to the same degree as Uncharted 2 did, but then Uncharted 2's set piece moments were beyond anything else we've seen and hasn't really been repeated. There's not really a ship turning over moment like there was in Uncharted 3. The moments are smaller, but over the course of the game, they're more consistent. There's not the peaks and troughs of, oh my God, that was incredible, and then, okay, now I'm just kind of walking. What's happening? The game is much more evenly paced all the way through, and that pace is good. It really nips along at a great pace. Maybe a little slow at the beginning, but once it gets going, it just carries on all the way to the end.
Okay. What about, you talked about pacing, what about in terms of story? Because obviously one of the things that people have always liked about Uncharted is the characters and the interactions between them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Obviously some new characters that we've been introduced to, like Sam and stuff. So how does that all play out?
This for me is where Uncharted 4 excels. This is the best story that they've ever done. This is just extraordinary. The influence of The Last of Us, maybe there, maybe not, I don't know. It's difficult to judge, but basically I've never cared so much about these characters. Like, I always enjoyed them in the other games. They were fun to be around. They were quippy and funny and whatever. But now I cared about them. I cared about what was happening to Drake. I cared about his relationship with Elena. I cared about his relationship with Sam. I trusted him and didn't trust him, and all of that's there. Yeah. I cared about Sully. I liked that he was back. Everything about it just had more weight and more importance than ever before, and that came through the cutscenes. It came through in-game conversations that just happen while you're walking around, and the performances are absolutely fantastic. They've captured them brilliantly once again. Yeah,
I mean, that spectacle in terms of the capture, the look of the game's always been sort of a big part of Uncharted. This has been talked up as the game that's sort of going to be the best looking on PS4. I mean, is it that
it's hard to, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I think graphically, just in pure fidelity, it's absolutely got to be up there with the best we've seen this generation. But more than that, Naughty Dog has a fantastic cinematic eye. It knows how to capture a moment, not just in a cutscene, but also in gameplay. When those classic sort of things where you leap out of a window of a building and the camera pulls back to show you the landscape around you. So you can just appreciate the depth of detail they've put into what they've made. Moments like that, you just look and you're just like, wow, this is just beyond anything we've ever seen. This generation, last generation, the level of detail in the world they've created. And also what I loved about it was, and again, this is giving absolutely nothing away, the further into the game you get, it actually feels like they get more detailed. The world's become even more nuanced. There's even more small things going on. I think in the past I might have felt like, the further you get into the game, you get into caves and things, and it doesn't quite have the same sense of it being constructed and built by somebody. Whereas this time everything feels much more like the architecture is there, and the items are there, and there's paintings and there's treasures to find and all these other things going on. It's just lots of little bits happening, and it just feels so packed full of stuff. Which is just amazing. It's an incredible feat, really.
We'll just touch on the multiplayer briefly.
Sure.
I think most people tend to come to Uncharted for the campaign, but
yes.
How is the multiplayer?
It's just really silly. It's chaotic, fun. It's pretty decent, but the respawn times are really fast. It just wants you to in and out of the battle everything as quickly as possible. You can unlock party hats for your characters. I mean, that pretty much tells you everything you want to know about the tone of the multiplayer compared to the single player, which has a good, strong, serious, character-driven tone. The multiplayer is just shoot, bang, jump, craziness. And it's a good laugh. I don't know if it's necessarily going to have much of a tail on it. It's not really going to be the most riveting thing to keep playing for months and months. But for a couple of weeks, once you finish the game, just have a bit of a laugh with some friends. Yeah, it's decent enough. But given some of the other multiplayer stuff that's going to be out this summer and in the coming months, the competition's a little fierce for online time at the minute.
Yeah. Okay. Just finally, I think most people think Uncharted 2's been the best game up until this point. Do you think it matches or surpasses?
Ooh, that's really hard. I think in terms of storytelling, definitely it surpassed it. In terms of action, I think still Uncharted 2's is at top. I think ultimately the two balance out and it becomes pretty much a dead heat between the two. It's just a question of where your tastes lie. Do you prefer the cinematic storytelling or do you want non-stop action? Ultimately, you've got the Nathan Drake collection. You can go back and enjoy Uncharted 2 again and keep playing. But Uncharted 4 is absolutely wonderful.
Superb as Magnum. Yeah.